Hello and welcome to the Southern 100 on the Isle of Man, the heart, home and birthplace of road racing, and we are here for round 4 of the Multi-Moto Ride 6 Championship. It is an exciting one today. Last time out we were on the baggers at Laguna Seca, and now we're on the naked 1000 RMs at the Southern 100. Today is going to be awesome. We've got 10 riders out on the track for you. We're sorry we had to wait a long time, but you know, you'd rather have 10 riders on the grid and wait an extra 5 or 10 minutes than have 6 on the grid straight away. And we are here for qualifying. Ducksworth and Mason out there looking strong on their machines. A lot of riders on BMWs. I think everyone, in fact, is on the BMW S1000R. Yeah, literally everyone on the BMW. And people to look out for: the man in second in the championship crashed on the last corner and lost victory on the last corner at Laguna Seca, being behind Henry Mack. But Henry Mack had the penalty. Ducksworth on the Cadbury's BMW S1000R as he goes down at turn 1. That's a big shunt into the wall. And then you've got Mason on the same bike. He's not out of the pits yet. But here is Henry Mack, your championship leader, also on the BMW S1000R at this point. Might as well just make it a BMW S1000R race, which it pretty much is. I think they are all on the BMW. Quite literally every single one of them. Yes, they are. We've got Ross, we've got Alfie, Finley, Joe, Mason, Henry, Ben, Willie Sham, Harrison and Ducksworth. It is going to be some epic action. Let's go on board with somebody starting their flying lap now. Just to remind you, I am the camera operator, so things are interesting. But here is Finley Cottenham coming around the last corner. Let's go on board with Finley on the BMW S1000R. Hopefully he can complete a clean lap, and let's get a clean lap of the Southern 100 on board. Now, if you aren't familiar with the standings, here they are on screen. Whoa, big moment Finley Cottenham, and it doesn't look like he's going to get that clean lap. But as you can see, championship standings are as follows. You've got Henry in the lead, 114 points. And then Jay, aka Ducksworth, second with 108. So only 6 points separating Henry and Jay. I'm just going to call him Ducksworth for now. Looks like Mason's still yet to come out of the pits. He looks like he's just waiting. We've got a 10-minute session here. Oh yeah, I've done that so we can still see the timings. Alfie's just gone to the top. He's wearing the Ian Hutchinson replica for good luck. And as you can see there, Alfie looking to regain some points in the championship after having a really rough last 2 rounds as he goes down at turn 1. That's a big one, but we're all fine here now. But he's currently at the top with a 2:15.2. Oh, that was a close one there for Joe on the 2:21.4 at the moment. Behind him is Ross, currently at the back of the grid. Hasn't set quite a lap yet, but he's stuck in well here with Joe, just to get an idea, just to hang around with him. Quite literally everybody on BMWs. As they head down into this really tight right-hander. I do love commentating on road racing. It is, and especially something like the Southern 100, it is exhilarating as they come through Church Bends. Ross sticking in well with Joe. He's looking towards a good lap here, and so is Joe, maybe looking to retake provisional pole position as they go up at the inside of one of the Cadbury's BMWs, looking to get past him. I think it's Mason, as we're getting a good onboard view, spectating that Cadbury's BMW going down, nearly smashing into Joe there and getting him completely kerfuffled, going down to the last corner. He's done well to stay on it, but you can see how much time Ross has gained there. That was close. And now here they come then to the line for Joe. Can he retake pole position from Alfie? He comes to line. Yes, he does. And Ross retakes it. Takes it on his first lap. 2:14.0 from Ross. Joe with a 14.4. He carried Ross to that one, and he probably could have got it there if not for that little moment with, I think it was Mason Roth, as Harrison Deo has made his way up into 4th place with a 2:21. Willie Sham with a 2:21.4 just slips in 2/10 ahead of Harrison. Yes, 100% APR Racing does look like the bike to be on. I mean, it's kind of obvious when everybody's on it, but this is the man to look out for. He has arguably been the fastest man out there for the last couple of rounds. Didn't really do much practice for the ZX4R race in round 1 at Donington Park, and sort of paid the price for it. Got a podium at least, but now he's on the charge. He was really quick. He got his first win in round 2. Oh, a big crash there as he loses the rear, jumping on the curb. Something happened there. I think that was just him restarting his flying lap. Let's see who else is on some laps as Armag comes to line. Has he improved? Ross, the Scot, looking to improve as he moves in to 2nd place. Staying in 2nd place, in fact. But Henry Mack to the top. Sorry, I haven't even noticed that. Henry Mack, your championship leader, with a 2:10.9. An absolutely blinding lap as he clears the rest of the field by 4 seconds. Ducksworth, Mason and Ducksworth looking to be the men to replicate that lap time, but haven't really done much practice today. Ducksworth really not feeling well. He's really under the weather, and that is going to really affect his performance. I mean, you can be ill while racing esports, but not as ill as Ducksworth was. He could hardly speak when I tried to speak to him earlier. Mason struggling to get a lap down. Let's go on board with him, and that's just the great thing in road racing. It's really nice to get these onboard shots and see what the riders are going through. Is it so intense? He's 2/10 down at the moment in sector 1. A good start to lap for Mason, looking to get on that front row on that Cadbury's BMW. Not Boost, just Cadbury's. As there he goes through that extremely tight hairpin. Somebody went back into the wall there. Mason James Allen Rothery makes his way through Williams corner up the hill. You have to be really brave to keep it pinned through here as he gets it sideways on the exit. Nice and aggressive from Mason. It's all good, Charlie. Good to see you here watching this. Shame to see you, unfortunately, watching from the grandstands for this one. As Mason comes down to the hairpin. It's looked relatively clean so far. It is a shame you did miss out, Charlie. I know you're an absolute weapon on the roads, as this man is here as well. Mason Roth won the Ulster GP in SDPG. As he comes through Church Bends, that looked nice. This could be a pole lap for Mason. Let's go on board with the man from Cumbria. He's a second up on Henry Mack's time. I'm pretty sure that is the pole time split that we are looking at as he comes through the stadium bends. No, he's on the outside curb. I think he just had a bit of an eye line taken by Finley Cottenham on the inside, and it's sort of taken it away from him. He's not going to get another good lap in. This is bad for Mason. This is really bad. He needs to get a decent lap. This might even still get him on a good lap, and he gets on the front row despite crashing. A 2:13.4. Ducksworth at the back of the grid. He's not going to get another lap in. No, he's not going to make it. Another lap is not possible. It gives you a 40-second breather at the end of the session just to get your lap done, and it's not going to be enough. Ducksworth, the man second in the championship, chasing down Henry Mack. Most people's favourite coming into this, clearly really being hit hard by this illness he's experiencing, and it's such a shame to see. So much potential, and so much potential at Laguna Seca as well to possibly take the lead of the championship, but it is a long way down. I mean, we've got the sprint race still to come. 2 races. So plenty can get done in that time. Unfortunately, the timer just keeps going on and off, on and off. But Mason Roth with a 13.4, a brilliant effort from him. Azim Armag goes up into 3rd, aka Ross. But 4th on the grid is absolutely sensational from him, despite crashing, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that. He'll be a little bit upset not to get pole position. He'll be having a few words with Finley, I think, but Finley was staying out of the way. I think it was just a matter of Mason's eye line getting taken away as he approached probably arguably the hardest part of the circuit. And I do not think Benny will be able to complete his lap here. It's a shame here because he's looking to improve, and I don't think it is going to be enough as he loses the rear on the outside curb. That was a monstrous crash. And that is it then. Henry Mack, your championship leader, on pole position with a 2:10.9. Alfie Cox not too far behind though. 3/10 off, and as you can see, the entire grid lining up on the BMW S1000R. Very interesting. A BMW Cup here at the Southern 100. And as we're now about to get into the sprint race. And here we are, the Southern 100. What a beautiful circuit. So much history to it as well. Those singing inline 4 S1000Rs are going to be electric. Oh no, it looks like we've lost Harrison Day from the sprint race. Hopefully we'll be able to get him back for the main race. That's a shame. So we're going to have 9 riders lining up for the sprint. Unfortunately, with this delay, we're going to have to just love him and leave him for the sprint. It's unfortunate, but we can't really restart because we'd have to go for another qualifying session. So we're just waiting for Alfie and Benny to connect now. And we've got Alfie as well, just trying to connect. He really needs to gain some points on Henry and Ducksworth in the championship, and this is probably one of his best chances because Ducksworth really struggling there with qualifying, starting at the back of the grid at a road race. That's not good. It's not the easiest place to overtake here at the Southern 100. It's not the easiest to overtake any of these riders in MMR6. Sorry, we've got somebody chatting rubbish here. Finley, I think it was. I don't know. Someone's chatting rubbish.
Charlie, say it again. Charlie, say it again.
Oh, for goodness sake, guys. Come on. Here we go then. It's time to get racing. I'm going to mute everybody so they can shut the hell up. Here we go then. At the Southern 100, Henry Mack lines up off pole position and he is away. And it's a bad start from him though as Alfie goes straight into the lead. Ross getting alongside. Careful not to get into contact here. Big crash in the middle. Someone's gone down big there. I think that was Ross going down at the start. Look at them all side by side up to turn 1. Joe trying to get involved. This is going to be manic. Down into turn 1. Somebody's right off. Alfie's into the wall. They're all into the wall. Loads of people into the wall. Big crashes all around. Unfortunately, we can't red flag the race because that can't happen in Ride 6. Unfortunately, Ben gets into lead. What a brilliant start for him as he just let all the drama happen out in front of him. A lot of people were going to be cursing whoever's fault that was. Alfie's into second. Finley Cottenham to third. He's lagging quite a bit. He nearly went into the wall there. Ben nearly went into the wall there. He has got into the wall. He's nearly taken Finley with him. Mason's up to third. Right on the back of Finley. And Alfie already starting to clear off on the number 23 BMW S1000R. He's in the wall. He's in the wall. Finley's going to go into the wall as well. They're all going to go into the wall. Mason, oh, it's just manic. Contact everywhere you look. It's absolute shambles here for a lot of people as Alfie went bouncing into the wall. I think it was a bit of a racing incident there for Mason and Alfie because Mason had literally nowhere to go and Alfie just respawned in front of him. The road racing G is in the lead of the sprint race. He nearly didn't make it to this one, yet here he is in the lead ahead of Ross and Henry. Ducksworth down in 8th, having an unfortunate one. Probably got caught up in the madness and badness in the hairpin. Willie Shammer's unfortunately gone down in the background there. Ducksworth has gone down as well. Oh, it's just people crashing all over the place. Finley Cottenham has gone down. Here's Joe into the hairpin in 5th. Alfie, I think, ran into the wall again. He's in 4th. And he really needs to gain some points here. If he can get ahead of Henry Mack, it'll be a positive race for him. But Henry looks like he's lagging quite a bit. Oh, whoa. Big lag there for Henry as he hits the deck. Unfortunately, it's not like the MotoGP games where we can just click our fingers and they're disqualified. I'm not the race director. That hasn't been added yet. I'm simply a spectator. It's quite a shame. Oh, no. Ross going into the wall there. So many people crashing. Not enough people being careful. They're really asking a lot of these S1000Rs. as Alfie's trying his best to catch Mason, but Mason, as I said, unstoppable. As I predicted, that Cadbury BMW would be a force to be reckoned with here at the Southern 100. Let's go on board with our race leader as he heads down to turn 1. Careful the outside curbs. He's done well there to stay off it. Loves his road racing, adores his road racing, lives for it. And here he is out in the lead once again on the roads as he laps Benny already. And he comes into the first chicane of the Iron Gates and now into the second. You'd really call it a chicane. It was so incredible. Pinpoint accuracy there for Mason. Not the best exit, but a brilliant entry. He's going to be good to slow it down here. He's going quick into that hairpin. He's done super well to get it turned around there. Alfie gets it perfect. Brilliantly done from Alfie to get that bike turned around. Joe into third. Ross has hit the wall. Henry through into fifth, but Alfie in second. This is good for him. This is really good. And he is going to be gaining some big points if it stays like this on Henry and Ducksworth in the championship. Ducksworth not too far off Ross, looking to close some points and just trying to damage control here because he clearly really isn't feeling well. He is so much faster than this, and that got close between him and Ross, and he's had to go into the wall to avoid him. That's a shame. He's got respawned there. I think he could have stayed on it. It's a shame the game forced him into that. Ducksworth is going to be really frustrated with this one, but there is still a main race to come just yet. As I've just realised, the road racing G, the big man, the one leading the race, Mason Roth, has gone down out of the lead. Whoa! Joe went and took the lead briefly, rejoined in the track right on the inside at Church Bends, and Mason, by a hair's length, missed him at the last minute. Pinpoint reaction times as now the top 3 are covered by less than a second. Henry Mack hopefully trying to recover from that lag incident as he's trying to get involved. Oh, that's oh no. Lots of lag there. That's completely thrown Mason and Henry off as they now rejoin in second and third with Alfie involved. Joe's out in the lead and he's got clean air now. He's got a second bite at the cherry and he just needs to keep it cool. This is an absolutely awful race for most riders so far. So many crashes. Everyone's crashed more than once. As here comes Alfie for the inside on his championship rival. He's gone down. It's a brave move. It allows Mason Roth through. Henry Mack's not going to be happy with that one. And Alfie for certain not going to be happy either. Ducksworth looking to make up some ground. And he's got quite a distance to go to catch the fight, but it's all packing up closer in this top 6. Willie Sham has stopped, I think. Somebody stopped at the back there. As Joe continues to lead, Mason Roth looking to lie down easily. He wants to take the double here and prove why he is the top man on the roads, at the Southern 100 especially. Joe nearly into the wall there, but Mason keeping strong. He's got a rounded up 0.3 of a second penalty that he's got to account for, and he's just trying to be careful. Somebody's gone down in the background. I think it was Henry Mack as Ross goes flying on through. I think Alfie also crashed there too as he has contact with Henry. These two, the gloves are off. The battle at Donington Park, they're not having a good time with each other here, and Ducksworth is praying in. Mason has got back into the lead. I've just noticed. I think Joe's gone down with only a lap and a half. No, sorry, 2.5 laps to go. Mason Roth retakes the lead here at the Centre 100. Joe's in second. Ross third. Henry Mack is disconnected. The lag has taken him prisoner, and into the wall goes Alfie. He had to stop there, but either way, he's going to be gaining some strong points. As Ducksworth moves through into fourth, Alfie knows, both of them know, that this is huge for the championship. People doing burnouts on the Church Bends, really taking distractions, Willie and Finley, and they're just staying out of people's ways, being ghosted, so I think that's alright from them. There's not really many places where you can stay out the way here at the Southern 100, as here comes Alfie in the slipstream trying to get through on Ducksworth. Oh, Ducksworth's gone down. Oh, and that's really bad. Alfie's collected his bike. He was trying to avoid Joe on the ground. Oh, dearie me, that's got really ugly for Ducksworth. But now Alfie is going to gain some big points in the championship. You don't really know where to look here because the race pattern isn't exactly forming. It's like an online lobby, to be honest. 2 laps to go and Mason leads from Ross and Alfie. I'm trying to make some sort of sense of this absolutely crazy race of people dropping the bikes here, there and everywhere, and that main race is going to be nothing different. Mason just has to stay cool. He just doesn't need to risk it. We do know these people are still learning Ride 6. The game is, after all, only a month or so old. But Mason seems to be the top man. He's led most of the race. He's led at least once every lap. He just has to keep his cool. Ross staying consistent in second. He's got no penalty, but Alfie's not too far behind him, but Joe not too far back either. Ducksworth will be angry at that moment there, having to avoid Ross's bike. He knows Alfie's not an immediate threat in the championship, but I think at this rate, though, Ducksworth will take the lead of the championship going into the sprint. As I mentioned before, I think it was 6 points, 6 points between them two going into this race. And at this point, Ducksworth, as he moves around the outside absolutely gorgeously of Ross, just trying to avoid him respawning there. And he's now in the battle for the podium on that Cadbury BMW, chasing down Joe with only a lap to go. Mason has to hold that lead, just has to stay on the bike, and it's all his. And Joe nearly into the wall. That was close. He did a brilliant job to stay on that. Ducksworth now on the hunt for the podium. He's got a pretty hefty penalty for road racing as he tries to get in the slipstream and slide along the right side. A brilliant move from Ducksworth. Will Joe fight back? Preferably for him into the tight right-hander of the last corner. You're not going to fight back here, are you? No, somebody's out wide there and doing burnouts. That's going to take the eye line again. Alfie's out wide at the last corner. That would have distracted them. And Joe just being careful. He pushes Mason out onto the curb. No, Ducksworth, sorry, out onto the curb. That was a dirty move. And Joe might get a penalty for that one, as Alfie is into second. And this is huge for his championship. Ducksworth at this point will lead the championship, but Alfie is going to really bounce up the standings in this, and Henry's going to plummet. It is only the sprint, though, don't forget. Now I think about it, I do not know, because it is sprint points based on the MotoGP World Championship. But as Mason comes through the second chicane and towards the hairpin, I wouldn't call it a sublime performance, but definitely a lot more managed than the rest of the field. Catch Joe in third, but I imagine Joe was going to get a big penalty for what he did there to Ducksworth. A real shame for Ducksworth. I'm going to check up on the point system for the sprint. But here he is then, Mason, with only one sector to go. It's been a really strong last lap. He's on a 2:11.1. That was his cleanest lap and will definitely be the fastest lap of the race. He nearly didn't make it to this race. He very nearly didn't make it, and he nearly didn't make it to the last corner then when he caught that curb. He's all good though. He's out the last corner, and he is the proven road racing G as usual. He wheelies to the line here at the Southern 100. Mason wins the sprint race in fine fashion. That was going to be the fastest lap if he didn't pull the wheelie. Extra star points for Mason. Had to do it, the big man. Alfie comes home for second. Big points in the championship for him as he gets closer to that top two fight. Ross does a good job to salvage a third place. Joe fourth, and will definitely get a penalty for that one. What happened to Ducksworth there? Ducksworth's going to take home fifth on the grid, but I think it's going to be fourth after penalties are considered. Now I'll check the points system from the sprint. So Ducksworth finishing fourth would hand him 6
Willie
points. And
get the fuck out of here, you fucking mongrel.
Whoa, okay. Apologies for the language there from Mason. Couldn't help himself. Must have been a bit upset with some of the competitors about sitting around doing nothing. Just making sure everybody's muted, so you don't have that again. A big apology for that one. I did not think his mic would be that loud. But yeah, there you go, Mason. Mr. Loudmouth, but Mr. Road Racing G taking home victory. And fair enough to him. I'm going to need to leave the lobby. And now let's take a look at the bike that everyone is wanting to be on. We banned the Ducati V4 because it's a bit too OP, so they all go to the next OP bike, and that is the BMW S1000RR from 2021. A decently nice looking bike. Of course, I'll show you the street version. This one here, that's the 2024, sorry. It doesn't give you a 2021 version, which is quite odd. Oh, that's the 1250, the ugly piece of rubbish. But yeah, S1000R24 doesn't actually, I don't think you can buy the 2021 version. No, you can't. Probably because it's on the used bike section. But there you go, the racing modified version. Looker, an inline 4 flat plane, a real screamer as we saw that. As this next race is going to be 10 laps long. It's going to be a right old Duke to the end. And since Joe will definitely get a penalty for that incident, and I think Finley and Willie Sham will be getting penalties for that too. So just note, for whoever's sorting out penalties might end up being me. But yeah, at this point, Ducksworth, because Joe will definitely get a penalty, is 6 points gained from the sprint, and he is now level on points with Henry in the championship. Just trying to get the lobby sorted out. Apologies, and this would be so much easier if Ride 6 had a race director mode, wouldn't it? But yeah, let's go back to looking at, well, the bikes that they did have of choice, being the Z900. Oh no, sorry, not the Z900. Being the, I don't think there is a racing modified one that you can buy brand new from Kawasaki, but you can have the Z1000. You could have had the 1290 Super Duke R, if you can get that racing modified. Yes, you can here. You could have had the 1290 Super Duke R. You could have had the MV Augusta Brutale 1090R. You could have had the Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS. looks like we're going to have a random grid since all the riders have voted, because it was either the option of 1 lap quali to sort the grid or completely random. So a 1 lap quali would mean they're all in contact with each other, which would be absolutely insane. So, and absolutely terrifying. I mean, oh yeah, another option there was the MT10. Of course, the cross-plane inline 4. That would have probably been my pick. Actually, I'm not quite sure what the points are looking like on the BMW, so I might quickly retract that statement. Let's have a look, shall we? It's 868 compared to the MT10's 831, so that's not too bad. I think I'd go with the MT10 just for a bit of fun, just to be a bit different. I don't usually like to follow the crowd. I'm not a huge BMW fan either. Nothing against BMW at all. I quite like Yamaha, I quite like Kawasaki and Triumph. They are probably my top 3 favourites. So they are all getting ready to go now. And now Ducksworth level on points with Henry. So now the championship gets interesting. I'll take a quick peek at the calendar. And I'll inform you on what is coming up next. Next up, it is the penultimate round with Racing Modified 600s at Cadwell Park. It is going to be a show, that one. That is going to be a brilliant race. So make sure you're tuning in for that one next week, where hopefully Jack Hammer will be rejoining me in the commentary box. Unfortunately, Jack couldn't make this round. We're just waiting now. And unfortunately, this is the quite boring midpoint. I'm not talking much just because I am also race direction, so I'm trying to sort out the guys' qualifying format and also how they just get on the grid. Thanks to Ride 6 being unfortunately very irritating. Still haven't got race director mode. Looks like we're just waiting for Ross to rejoin. His game has unfortunately crashed. Again, really sorry about this, but in fact, while we wait, let's get on one of the bikes of choice, being the Triumph Speed Triple 1200, the one that I have, and let's just get a bit more of a neutral suit on. Excuse the rather biased track wear. And of course, this is my lovely helmet made for me by Ducksworth. And let's get on track then while we wait for everybody to get out there on circuit. So here we go, Southern 100. What a brilliant, iconic racetrack. And again, to everybody watching this, this is the unfortunate part. If you're watching it back, then just easily skip it if you want. This is a very simple thing. It's just waiting for everybody to come back in. And here we go then, down the straight. And excuse if we just leave randomly. We're waiting for everybody to get going. And as soon as they get going, we're going to be joining so we don't miss anything of the race. And down at turn 1, you have to be really careful. A lot, especially since you're alongside a lot of other riders going down there, it is extremely easy to crash. And this is quite a tight straight coming out of turn 1, so you're probably going to have about 3 wide maximum, and then you're all going to have to go single file into this chicane because nobody is surviving side by side through here. I'm not going for the full racing line, I'm just trying to show you around the track. And then you're going really fast through here, really fast, way faster than I was just going through there, through that chicane. Then you have to really get on the brakes hard, get it sliding, and then go for a wide line on entry, just like that. Actually, that wasn't too bad, through the hairpin. And again, it's such a difficult area to go side by side through that right-hander and up the hill. This is where things get really interesting as you go under the trees and to the left. Careful, the outside curb, had to pick it up, and it looks like we're being called in to join now. That is your half a lap of the Southern 100 as we now load into the lobby. Let's see if Mason can do the double. The people doing burnouts have been given a telling off, a firm telling off. Please remember, everybody, no talking in game chat. Please, it is heard in full volume on the stream. Please do not speak.
Good luck, all you Riz-Saz.
Okay, clearly some people being irresponsible there. Cheers for that one, Harrison. And here we go then, racing again. The grid is completely random. Mason got lucky enough to be on the front row. It's a pretty strong front row of Joe, Alfie and Mason. And look at the start from Ducksworth on last on the grid, trying to get alongside. Hopefully we don't have a pretty eventful turn 1. Look at this, 7 riders wide. This is going to get dramatic into turn 1. Harrison takes the lead. They've all got through relatively okay for now, but someone's going to crash, and it's Joe into the wall. Ducksworth into the wall, somebody on the outside curb. I think that was Henry, the championship leader's gone down. Alfie has gone down. Mason, I think, has also gone down. And now it's Alfie leading the way ahead of Ross and Harrison. It's a 10-lap race. This is going to be interesting. Here we go. Through the chicane, it's Alfie with that Hutchie replica. Ross brushing his elbow against the wall. He's gone for the inside. He's gone for it, and he's put Alfie in the wall. Harrison's followed along. That's a dirty one from Ross, and he's rightfully waited as somebody goes flying into the wall there. A big accident. Big accidents all around. Oh, it's a big pile up. A big pile up. An unfortunate one at that. Ducksworth has moved his way into 3rd, and he's far off the race lead now. Mason in 5th, Henry 4th. Oh my goodness, it has been a dark start to the race. But now we're with Ross. He's got a 1/10 of a second penalty, and he's chasing down Alfie. Down the hill towards the hairpin. Oh no, Alfie's gone into the wall. Oh, and Ross loses the rear. And now Ducksworth in prime position to take victory and solidify his championship lead. With only 2 rounds to go, it's really going to get serious for who's going to become champion between Ducksworth and Henry. Apologies there as Ducksworth comes down the hill. Let's go on board with him, chasing down Alfie Cox. Into the right-hander we go. It's a really tight right-hander. Alfie's not going to get that stopped. Oh, that's too much of the brakes again. He tends to do that one a lot. Ducksworth now leads the Southern 100. As he crosses the line to start lap 2, Mason making his way firmly up the grid. He is the man to beat now. Henry's through on Joe into 5th, just trying to heal that damage done to his championship lead as Joe gets back through in the slipstream. The 2 BMWs going head to head to try and catch the other BMWs that fill up the rest of the grid. Harrison's had an unfortunate one. He's dropped back to last alongside Benny, battling for 7th as they now come into turn 1. Joe's just gone the safe route and broken early. Lovely job from Henry running that Garrett Gerloff replica as Mason doing all he can to catch up. It's a big gap to Ross in front. And now Alfie right on the back of Ducksworth. Is he going to send it in the chicane? It's brave. Harrison's on the... Oh no, Harrison's had that awful glitch. I know what that one is. And I think he's finally managed to get up now. I hate it when that happens. I knew what that one felt like. I had that happen to me before in an online multiplayer lobby. What a shame Harrison's race is completely ruined by that one. But that's what he gets for talking in game chat when I warned him. Yeah, and there he goes. As here comes Alfie trying to chase down Ducksworth. Can't quite stick with that Cadbury's BMW. What a brilliant livery created by Ducksworth for him and Mason, by the way. An absolutely wonderful project from the man out of Cambridgeshire. Oh, Alfie got awfully close to the wall there. Nearly lost the rear, and as you can see there, Mason starting to catch up to Ross now. He's getting him closer between those crosshairs of his. Mason James Allen Rothery closes the gap, and he is absolutely on it. This is a clean lap from him, and it might be, if it's long, I'm pretty sure he might be looking at a strong lap here. Pole position from Henry, I believe, was a 2:11. So could we see that beaten in this race? Ross runs it out wide on the last corner. Here comes Mason and to the line. I think this is going to be a really good lap from Mason Roth. Might not quite be pole position. It is. Wow. Wow, what a lap. A 2:11.0 from Mason Roth then. The fastest lap we've seen all race meeting long. And he is really closing the gap now to these two as Alfie on the outside. Curb took down. Ducksworth leads from Ross, Alfie, and right behind him, Mason Roth. It's getting intense. Henry Mack might even be able to get back involved in this. He's done a 2:10.7. An incredible lap from him. And I was just singing Mason's praise for doing a 2:11.0. Henry Mack, the championship leader coming into this round, and at this time won't be leading the championship coming out of the Southern 100 into the penultimate round at Cadwell Park next week. Make sure you join us for that one. That's going to be a brilliant race on 600s. I imagine most people on Hondas. He got close to the wall there, but here is Mason chasing down Alfie. Ross not too far up the road either, trying to get a 1-2 for the Cadbury's BMW team. He's right in there now. He's angry and he's looking for it. He's going to be furious with that start. And now he's getting involved. Ducksworth's gone down and Mason takes the blow. Wow. He absolutely forces his way through on Alfie there. What's a sensational move. Alfie's going to try and go back through at the hairpin. Nowhere to go. Ducksworth unfortunately went down in that part where you got absolutely flat for it. Mason's got a 3/10 penalty. And within less than half a lap, he's gone from 4th to second, and now chasing down first. The Road Racing G is back in the fight. Ducksworth has a lot of work to do to close that gap, but he's still got a chance here. There's a big battle between these three coming up, I feel, as Alfie's going to try and make the move. Alfie's not the best on the brakes by what we've seen so far. What's he going to try? Definitely not in here, he's not. Is he going to try and go for something in the hairpin? Oh, Ross has got down. Oh, big in the big way. I'm struggling with the commentating here just because of how crazy this is going. Mason had to take evasive action to avoid his motorcycle. Ross drops to 4th. We've only got 7 riders in this race now. We started with 10. And now Alfie Cox trying to chase down Mason for the race lead. It's a 3.5 penalty for Mason. So he's just got to make sure he takes care of that. He has to push on a little bit, but he's still got a while. He's doing all he can, though, to get into the slipstream of Mason. Mason's still on that 2.11.0. Let's see if Henry's improved. A 2.10.7 still for him. Nobody else seems to be going that quick. Benny really struggling. Joe, unfortunately, struggling down there in 6th. Just trying to get back involved in this battle. Ducksworth is into 3rd now, ahead of Ross. Ross might have crashed. Things just getting out of hand for the Scot, and Alfie really closing the gap there to Mason. Mason must have really gone slow through the chicane. Oh, Alfie had to lift off there as to not run into the back of the Cadbury's BMW. And here is Alfie. We're on board with him. We're currently running a 2.12.6, but look how brave Mason is, pinning the throttle and throwing the bike wherever it goes. Absolute on the limit, and 2 on the limit, 2 on the limit. Mason Roth goes down. I've had to keep my voice down because my parents are asleep. This is unbelievable. I don't believe. What a shame for Mason Roth. Just as I was singing his praise, the commentator's curse comes into effect, and he's gonna hate me for it. Still, we've got over half the race to go, so I'm sure he's calm. He's fine. He can still win this one. Alfie now leads by a sizable gap ahead of Ducksworth, Ross and Mason. Henry desperate to get back involved, as well as Joe, but they're quite far behind now. Here comes Alfie, just trying to keep it clean. With this gap, he should be okay, just to be calm and cool and stay on the bike until the very end, and he could take the spoils here, and that would be huge for the championship. It would really throw him back into contention, heading to Cadwell Park. A 2.11.6, a good lap from him. A 2.12.2 from Ducksworth, a 12.5 from Ross. Mason, no improvement, of course. Henry, I don't think he's going to improve on this lap. He didn't close a lot there. No, he does a 2.15. Joe also struggling for a lap time, but Ducksworth on the prowl, trying his best to catch Alfie Cox. He'll be disappointed not to come out of this one with a victory, despite his pace being so strong, but nonetheless he will come out of this round leading the championship, heading into Cadwell Park. Of course, Brands Hatch being the final round on the superbikes. That's going to be a really good one. Ducksworth so strong at Brands Hatch, and so strong at pulling that BMW S1000R out of trouble there as he nearly hit the deck. As he comes into the hairpin, nearly bashes his head on the wall. Mason is getting back in the fight, somehow with an 0.8 of a second penalty. That's going to be a worry for him, but he's not too worried about it just for now. It's still got half the race left. We're 10 minutes in to the Southern 100. As he chases down Ross. Right there behind him, he has to be careful. Somebody's gone down. Ducksworth's gone down out of second. You hate to see it for Ducksworth. Mason gets 2 for the price of 1 as he slips underneath Ross, Mag, and unfortunately his teammate going down. Now Alfie's got a massive gap to work with. Somehow Mason on a 1.1 penalty. I don't even know how you get a penalty that big at this track. The rear comes around there for Mason. Careful now. Ducksworth will be looking to close the gap and just get a few more positions out of this one. We're hoping to at least gain a podium, because at this point he is not that far ahead of championship rival Henry Mack. And into the last corner we go. Mason in second. It's a pretty big gap in front to Alfie. He has to get moving now. He has to get pushing. And I think this is going to be another good lap from him. It's the fastest lap of the race. He did get a penalty from that one, but I'm going to ignore that because surely he didn't cut any corners. Where do you cut corners here? It's a 210.751, I think it was. And Henry, oh no, sorry, so it's not the fastest lap, a 10.734. No. Oh, Mason's gone down again. Mason's gone down again. I think Alfie may have had a bit of a mistake there. Ross is back into second. It's really going wrong for Mason at this point, but he's still got more time with 4.5 laps to go. Ducksworth closing in on his Cadbury's BMW teammate. Somebody else going down there at the hairpin. It was Ross, and all this is just helping Alfie as Ross tries to go it around the outside. It's a brave move and he makes it work. Mason goes for the long way round, careful not to come into contact. Oh my goodness, wheel to wheel, bar to bar action with the Southern 100. You can't take your eyes off it, but you can't. Oh look, as Ross has a huge moment on the outside curb. Ducksworth's going to try and get involved now. If they keep battling like this, Alfie is going to come out of nowhere. Ross is on the curb. No! No! Oh, a big collision as Ross has a big moment on the curb. Henry, here comes Henry into 4th place, and here he comes to retake the championship lead away from Ducksworth. Who would have put the spin on this? Ducksworth led the race at one point. Now he's down to 5th. Henry is well and truly in the fight, but look, Alfie has crashed, I think, because Mason is now into 2nd and chasing down the number 23. Look at this for a performance as Mason goes around the outside and through into the lead, looking to take the double. Is it finally here? There's a lap rider in the way. Benny's in the way. No, Mason down again on the outside curb. Ross was too far back to go through. Henry and Ducksworth too. Mason still in 2nd, clearly having his eye line taken off by Benny there. Careful on the outside curbs. He's now got 4 laps to make it work. How can he do it? Ross in the slipstream. He got a brilliant run out that last corner, and here he comes looking to get involved. Henry is going to be waiting for something to happen between these two, like it did between Ross and Ducksworth. It's really late on the brakes from Ross. I don't think he's going to get that stopped, you know. He just barely is. What an incredible effort from the Scot to get that BMW S1000R absolutely stopped at the hairpin. A short-lived lead for Mason Roth, but one that is not over yet. As Henry catches up and closes in, Ducksworth praying that he makes a mistake somewhere just so he can lead the championship with that little extra confidence. Alfie's gone down. Alfie's gone down in a big way, and that's lost him so much time. He's down to 4th, and this is now the battle for the win. 3 of them all into the chicane. Oh, sorry, hairpin. And down goes Armag. And now Henry gets 2 for the price of 1. Whoa, it's getting insanely dramatic here. Joe's not too far off the battle now. We have 5 riders within at least 2 seconds. Henry Mack's gone into the lead because I think Mason must have made a mistake. Henry's gone down too. It's all over the place. All over the place, I tell you. And Cadbury's BMW is now 1 and 2 in the race. After only a lap ago, we were saying how it was all going wrong for them. This is the joys of road racing online. No one's getting hurt. But all the craziness comes all at you at the same time. You don't know where to look. It is proper aggressive racing and proper madness as Alfie tries to go up the inside of Ross. Now out of the cross 4 ways and into Church Bends. Any move possible for Alfie? Ross gets the chicane well, but on the entry, but didn't quite the exit as good. Here's Ducksworth with the 2nd penalty. Mason with the 1.1. Those guys behind him, not too. Alfie's got no penalty, and Ross got a 1 second penalty. So that's big for Alfie. If he can stick within 1 second of this top 2, he can still win this race. Careful on the outside curb. Mason taking the liberties, but Ducksworth playing it safe, and that's allowed Ross to really get distracted, and he's in the wall. That's not good. Through goes Henry Mack. True. Oh no, he hasn't managed to get through quite, but Joe somehow in 6th. If he just stays on for a lap or 2, he can really get involved in this 5 rider action for the victory. But here is Ducksworth. Let's go on board with the now championship leader as he chases down his teammate on that Cadbury's BMW. Gorgeous purple and gold livery based on the Cadbury's Bruce Yamaha from the 90s era of BSB. One of the most adored liveries of all time in motorcycle racing, especially in the UK. And I'm sure Neil Mackenzie and Jamie Whittam would be loving this action here, because it is truly unpredictable. As Ducksworth closes in the hairpin, right behind him is Alfie. It's a 3-rider battle here at the Southern 100 for victory. Who's going to take it? One move could put you, all three of you, down on the ground and hand it over to Ross. Everyone has to be inch perfect from now on. Can we see some finally decently consistent laps? They need to work together. Realistically, the best option is to work together and just open up that gap behind them to Ross and Henry. They all want to get past Henry in the championship, and Mason's got a poor exit. He's forced him out. Oh, he's forced Ducksworth onto the outside curb. Ducksworth's not going to be happy about that one. Ducksworth is fallen back to 5th behind his championship rival. He's got 2.5 laps to make up for it. He can still get a podium if he gets through on Ross, but here is Alfie all over the back of Mason for the lead. It's going to be these two, probably the most consistently leading two of the whole race meeting so far. But look at this battle for third. We've got Ross, Ducksworth and Henry all bunched up together, and I think Joe just keeps crashing because he does not seem to be gaining any time whatsoever on this group. Oh, a big one for Ducksworth as he clips that outside curb, asking for more of that S1000R. Down he goes. And Alfie Cox has got through at the last corner. Here we go then. 2 laps to go for the honours here at the Southern 100. Through goes Mason in the slipstream. These two have had their issues. Oh no, don't disconnect the lobby now. Lots of lag there, as I think we've all stayed on it. Everybody seems to have stayed on it. I think we're okay. But we're going back to this battle for the lead. Are we going to see Mason pop up on the inside? Definitely not into here. That'll be an incredibly brave move from the Cumbrian. And this is really going to shoot up Mason in the standings if he wins the double here. I don't think it's going to get him anywhere near the title contention. Oh no. Oh no, Mason's completely torpedoed Alfie into the wall. He gentlemanly lets Alfie back past, and it suddenly becomes a 4-rider battle for the win once again. Big for Ducksworth. And here it comes, the action all together. Mason's got some work to do. A 1.1 second penalty to contend with. 24% on the rear soft. Everybody on the soft rear except for Ducksworth on the hard rear. That could play into Ducksworth's hands on these final few laps, but it's just whoever stays on the bike more at this point. Mason doing all he can to catch Alfie. He probably feels really bad for that shunt. And he's nearly into the wall. That got close for Mason. He's got Ross all over the back of him. And he's pushing to catch Alfie. Alfie Cox is putting in some impressive few laps here. No! On the inside curb, Mason goes down. And his teammate Ducksworth is going to be attacking. Mason has 1 lap to go from 4th to 1st. And Alfie is going to be collecting a big hand in the championship fight if he wins this today. A big penalty though for Ross could still land him in 3rd. He's on the ground. He takes Henry down with him. Big moment there going into the last lap. And now the two Cadbury's Yamahas, here I go again. Cadbury's BMWs are into 2nd and 3rd. The drama starts here, people, and it's the last lap. Alfie just needs to stay on the bike and it's all his. He's done a 2:10.6, the fastest lap of the race. Absolute show. Wait, no, Henry's done a 2:10.2. Incredible from the championship leader who won't be leading it into this. But here comes Ross. He's got it completely upset into the braking zone. And Alfie just has to stay on it now. It's such a big gap. But Henry in the slipstream blast past Mason as he moves into third place. Into the chicane, Mason on the back of him. Henry's gone down. Stay out of the way of his bike. That's big for the championship again. How many times have I said that on this lap, on any lap so far in the race? Alfie, just stay on the bike, man. If you want to win this one, is yet to win a race this season. Could be his first. He's been there or thereabouts all race long, all season long even. And now looks to finally take a stab back in the standings. Ducksworth will 100% take the lead of the championship at this point in time. Mason and Ducksworth trying all they can to catch the race leader. Will never be enough at this point. I don't think Mason will be so upset with missing out on the main race. At least he got a good result in the sprint. And Ross still within a chance of the podium here because of Mason's penalty. It's only a small difference, but any difference matters. And Mason knows that. He's going to be asking a lot of that BMW. But Alfie just literally cruising at this point, being as careful as possible. It is all his as long as he stays on it, and that gap is more than sizable for him to take a chill pill and even go a good like 2 seconds a lap, 2 seconds slower on this lap time. Ducksworth just praying for a mistake from Alfie on the last corner. We're going to stay with the race leader as he makes his way down into the last corner. It's victory for Alfie as long as he can stay on it. We've heard he's had some troubles on the brakes. He's really looked like he's had some troubles on the brakes, but he's all good. He's finally made it to the line. There he is. He wheelies to the line. Alfie Cox wins the Southern 100 in fine fashion. Ducksworth recovers to a second place, and Mason does make it to the line for third just about. Ross takes home third, and Henry has somehow fallen to sixth at this point behind Joe. That is huge for Ducksworth's championship as Henry darts to the inside. What a manoeuvre from the former championship leader. He's probably going to get it all upset. No, Joe, a big crash into the wall in the last corner. Henry takes home a disappointing fifth. No! Oh no! Oh, he's just lost fifth place. He's gone onto the curb on the side of the circuit and he is not happy. Oh, a dramatic race. Ducksworth did a 209.1. What a fastest lap from Ducksworth. This is the strangest race I've ever commentated on in my life. But a 209.1 from Ducksworth. That is just insane on the last lap. A 209.1. He went in insane amount faster than the whole grid, but a good shout to Alfie Cox, who wins the Southern 100 ahead of Ducksworth and Mason. A shout out to Mason Roth, the Road Racing G, for a podium and the victory in the sprint. An absolutely crazy race, and we'll probably dial it down a little bit more and get back to the normal schedule of things when we go out to Cadell Park next time out. But your newly handed championship leader Ducksworth will be leading it heading into Cadell Park, a track he thoroughly enjoys and rightfully leads the championship after that incredible fastest lap. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully Jack will be back with me again next week. That was absolutely insane. Thank you for watching. Join us next time, and good night. Congratulations to all the riders taking victories and podiums tonight. Good job.